What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for the starting 11 prediction for tomorrow's trip to Dingwall to face Ross County. Before we get into the video and the team for tomorrow, there's a few things that I need to run through. First of all, there's been more than a few people in the comments asking when I'm going to post a response to the review that we had from the chairman last week. To be honest, I didn't really think it warranted a response in terms of a video. I think the statement had everything that we expected it was going to have, which was nothing at all really. It was 600-700 words of saying nothing, a few like alluding to the excuses, if you like, of why we are where we are this season, but very little hard, concrete detail about what's happening with the managerial position, and not even any official confirmation that Neil Lennon is going to be there until the end of the season. As I said in the video with the letter, I think it's as plain as the nose in your face that Neil Lennon's going to be here till the end of the season no matter what. So the fact that they didn't even come out and just confirm that in the statement, I mean, it was just nothing. It didn't even warrant a full video, and me coming in and reading through it. As I say, like we've said everything this season that can be said about the situation. It's clear that the change is in motion now, but it's going to be at the end of the season. Certainly any managerial change, hopefully a director of football coming in as well, but I just thought there was nothing in the review. Interesting, although as many people pointed out that they don't want to rush to make any hasty decisions that they might regret. The irony in that being that removing Neil Lennon stopped being hasty probably about 6 months ago, and the decision to appoint him in the showers after a cup final is probably the most hasty decision the board have ever made. But there you go. Before we get to the team, I have to tell you about our sponsors, OneFootball. As I keep saying, the OneFootball app is the best football app on the planet. You can get line-up notifications as soon as the teams are announced on match days. You can get pre-match stats before the game as well. You can get goal alerts to your phone through push notifications. You can keep tabs on league tables from around the world. You can add widgets to your home screen that will keep you up to date with Celtic's next fixture, who it's against, and the kick-off time. That is actually particularly helpful this weekend because it's Sunday tomorrow and we're playing at 7:30 at night. There's been a few strange kick-off times this season with empty stadiums, but I think 7:30 on a Sunday is probably the most unusual one we've had so far. You can download the app by clicking the link in the description of this video. It's a brilliant way for you to support the channel. So if you haven't downloaded it already, click the link below, get involved and let me know what you think. Ross County come into this one sitting bottom of the table on 23 points. They are fighting for their survival in the league. Hamilton Accies again are putting together some surprising results. Hamilton always find a way every season of escaping relegation, and it looks like they're maybe going to do it again this season, so they've overtaken them. Ross County are bottom of the table now. I think there's only a point or two gap in it, but Ross County are going to be fighting for every point that they can get. They obviously put us out the League Cup earlier on in the season. We have since beaten them at home, and we had a good win up there. The only other time we visited Dingwall this season was the 5-0 win earlier in the season. So I'd expect a good performance tomorrow. 5 wins on the spin now. As I said the other day, not at absolute top gear, but we are putting together a run of wins and looking for 6 wins in a row tomorrow, so I expect a good performance, and if we get that, we should get the 3 points. In goals, Scott Bain will definitely keep his place. I think it'll be a back 4. That'll be John Joe Kenny at right back. I think Duffy's out with an ankle knock, so that'll mean a centre-half pairing of Stephen Welsh and Christopher Ayer. At left back, I fully expect Greg Taylor to start once again. It's his position now. I think Diego Laxalt has really dropped off the face of the earth. He's well down the pecking order now, and in terms of another lone player, I think he is one whose his time here is just going to peter out, and that'll be the last we hear of it. I certainly don't expect him to return, and I certainly don't expect any speculation about a permanent transfer, because he's barely been involved in the last couple of months. In midfield, it was a surprise to see Sorrow back in the team after a few games for Scott Brown. I think Sorrow's going to keep his place tomorrow. In the 6, Callum McGregor will play on the left-hand side of the diamond, if it is to be the diamond. Callum McGregor, who plays every game and every minute of every game, it seems. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Ryan Christie. At the top of the diamond in the 10, I'm going to go with David Turnbull. Again, match winner the other night, absolutely superb. What a goal he scored for 25-30 yards out, a low drive, absolutely fantastic technique. A lot of people talking about maybe David Turnbull attracting interest and getting a move in the summer. Listen, he's been absolutely brilliant, but I think that's a bit premature. I think he does have to be an integral part of the team that we build next season. I'm not going to say build the team round about him, because I think the Celtic team has to have a lot more to it than just being built around one player. But there's no doubt in his ability. He's been fantastic since he came into the team. I just think talk about him maybe moving on moving down south, whatever it might be, it is far too premature. I think he's looked really good, and as I say, he's a first name in the team sheet, and long may this form continue. And as I say, I expect him to be an integral part of next season's team. Whatever the setup is, whoever the manager is, whatever the formation is, I think David Turnbull is going to be a key part of that. Up top, I'm going to go with Odsonne Edouard and Albion Ajeti. A lot of criticism for Ajeti again the other night against Aberdeen, on the periphery, not really involved in the game. I think he's a penalty box striker and he needs service. We've talked about his hold-up play being good at times, but people have labelled him lazy at times, and we've talked a lot about his conditioning and his sharpness, his fitness this season. I don't think there's any doubt that he's underperformed in the last few games, but again, I'd just like to see him. The last time he played up at Ross County was when he was in his best bit of form for Celtic, when he just arrived and he scored in those first 3 or 4 games. So I'd like to see that again from him. He did start up front with Edouard that day. That was one of the few times they started together earlier in the season. It's obviously happened a few times recently, but it's not been the common partnership throughout the season. Klimala obviously came off the bench against Aberdeen during the week. Towards the end of the game, he got a goal up at Dingwall the last time off the bench as well, and Griffiths is there, so there's plenty of options as we know, but it just seems like all 3 of the others, Ajeti, Klimala and Griffiths, none of them have really been able to nail down that position next to Edouard. So I'm going to go with Ajeti. It could be any of them, but I think it will be those 2 to continue. That's the team I think Neil Lennon will go with. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already as well. We'll be back tomorrow with all of the matchday content and the live full-time reaction straight after the final whistle. So don't miss it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.